The gun pressed cold against Riley Callahan's skull. Blood dripped from her split lip onto the concrete floor. Commander Derek Stone's laugh echoed through the warehouse as his mercenaries circled her like wolves. "Who's going to save you now, little girl?" Stone crouched down, grabbing her jaw. "Your dead brother. Your pathetic dog." From somewhere in the darkness, a cage rattled. Then a growl, low, primal, unstoppable. Riley smiled through broken teeth. "You shouldn't have asked." What happened next would expose a conspiracy that reached the highest levels of military command. But to understand how a 20-year-old woman and her K9 brought down an empire of corruption, we need to go back 18 months to the day Riley Callahan's brother came home in a flag-draped coffin. If you want to witness how loyalty answers when evil calls, subscribe to our channel and stay until the very end. Drop a comment telling us which city you're watching from. Let's see how far this story of courage travels across the world. The morning Riley Callahan stopped believing in the system was the morning they told her how to grieve. "Keep it brief," the Navy liaison officer said, adjusting his perfectly pressed uniform. 2 minutes maximum at the casket. We're on a schedule." Riley stood in the hallway of Dover Air Force Base, watching through a window as they unloaded her brother's remains from the C-17. She was 20 years old. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Did you hear me, Petty Officer Callahan? I heard you." "Good. And please try to control your emotions during the ceremony. The Admiral has important guests." Riley turned slowly. The liaison officer was maybe 30, soft around the middle, probably never heard a shot fired in anger. She looked at him with eyes that had aged 10 years in the past 72 hours. "My brother died serving his country. You're telling me I have 2 minutes to say goodbye?" "Protocol, Petty Officer. I don't make the rules." "No. You just enforce them on grieving families." She walked away before she said something that would end her career. The hangar was cold. Military cold. The kind of cold that seeps into your bones and never quite leaves. Riley stood at attention as 8 sailors carried Marcus's casket down the ramp. Each step they took felt like a hammer blow to her chest. Her father stood beside her. Admiral Thomas Callahan, 3 stars on his collar face carved from granite. He hadn't cried, hadn't spoken more than 10 words since the notification officers came to his door. "Dad?" Riley whispered. "Are you okay?" "Stand straight. People are watching." That was it. That was all he gave her. The casket passed. Riley's hand trembled as she saluted. Inside that flag-draped box was Marcus, her protector, her hero, the one who taught her to ride a bike, to throw a punch, to never back down from bullies, the one who held her when their mother died of cancer 8 years ago, the one who called her Little Warrior and meant it. Gone. A sound escaped her throat. Something between a sob and a scream strangled before it could fully form. The liaison officer shot her a warning look. She bit the inside of her cheek until she tasted blood. After the ceremony, Riley found herself alone in a waiting room. Her father had been pulled away for important discussions. She sat in a plastic chair, staring at nothing. The door opened. A woman entered, mid-50s, silver hair, pulled back tight civilian clothes, but military bearing. "Petty Officer Callahan." "Who's asking?" "Dr. Elena Reyes. I was your brother's psychologist during his last deployment." Riley's head snapped up. Marcus saw a shrink. "We prefer a mental health professional." "But yes." Elena sat across from her. "I wanted to offer my condolences. Marcus he was a good man, one of the best I've worked with." "Then why did he need you?" Elena's expression flickered. Something passed behind her eyes. Hesitation, fear, calculation. Combat stress is normal, especially for operators at his level. He'd seen a lot, done a lot. That's not an answer. No, it isn't. Elena leaned forward. Riley, may I call you Riley? There's something you should know, but not here. Too many ears. What are you talking about? Elena pressed a folded paper into Riley's hand. My personal number. Call me tonight, after midnight. Use a payphone if you can find one. Don't use your cell. You're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Elena stood, smoothed her jacket. Your brother was a hero, but not for the reasons they're going to tell you. Remember that. She was gone before Riley could respond. Riley unfolded the paper in the bathroom. A phone number. And below it, 3 words that would change everything. He was murdered. Her knees buckled. She grabbed the sink, staring at her reflection. 20 years old. Petty Officer 3rd Class. Canine Handler Support, which was military speak for glorified dog walker. She wasn't a SEAL. She wasn't an investigator. She was nobody. But Marcus was her brother. And if someone murdered him, that someone was going to pay. The call came at 12:47 a.m. from a gas station payphone outside Norfolk. Dr. Reyes. You came. Good. That tells me you're serious. Tell me everything. A long pause. Riley could hear Elena breathing, could almost feel her deciding how much to reveal. Your brother discovered something during his last deployment. A trafficking operation, weapons being diverted to terrorist groups through humanitarian supply channels. Military contractors running the operation with protection from senior officers. That's insane. That's the truth. Marcus documented everything. He was going to expose it. And they killed him. The official report says ambush. Enemy fighters' overwhelming numbers. Marcus died heroically protecting his team. But I have sources. The extraction was deliberately delayed. The QRF that should have reached them in 20 minutes took 90. By then, Marcus was the only survivor, and he was dying. Riley's hand tightened on the phone. Who gave the delay order? I don't know, but I know where to find out. Marcus left evidence, a backup of everything he collected. It's hidden somewhere, only family would think to look. Where? I don't know that either, but there's a man who might. Warren Kane. They called him Shepard. He was Marcus's mentor, trained him from a raw recruit to a Tier 1 operator. If Marcus trusted anyone with a secret, it was Shepard. Where do I find him? Elena gave her an address. A ranch in rural Virginia, 3 hours from Norfolk. Be careful, Riley. The people who killed Marcus have power you can't imagine. They'll kill you too if you get too close. Let them try. That's what Marcus said. Elena's voice cracked. And now he's dead. Riley drove through the night. Dawn was breaking when she turned onto a dirt road that wound through Virginia horse country. Rolling hills, white fences, the kind of pastoral beauty that belonged on postcards. The ranch sat at the end of the road. A modest farmhouse, a large barn, and fenced acres where she could see dogs running, dozens of them. German shepherds, Belgian Malinois, Dutch shepherds, military breeds. She parked and stepped out. Before she could reach the porch, a voice stopped her cold. That's far enough. A man emerged from the barn. 60 years old, maybe 65. Built like an old oak tree, thick, gnarled, unbreakable. His beard was gray. His eyes were blue steel, and he held a shotgun with the casual familiarity of a man who'd used one in anger. Mr. Kane. Who's asking? Riley Callahan. Marcus was my brother. The shotgun didn't lower. "Marcus is dead." "I know. I was at Dover when they brought him home." Something shifted in the old man's face. Pain quickly suppressed. "Then you should go home and grieve. Nothing for you here." "Dr. Elena Reyes sent me." The shotgun came down an inch. "Elena. She knows better than to. She told me Marcus was murdered. She told me you might know where he hid the evidence." Shepard Kane stared at her for a long moment. Then he lowered the shotgun completely and sighed. "You better come inside. Coffee's fresh. And you look like you haven't slept in days." The farmhouse kitchen was warm and cluttered. Dog toys everywhere. Photographs on every wall. Young men in combat gear group shots from deployments, formal portraits in dress uniforms. Riley spotted Marcus in 3 of them. Her throat tightened. "Cream and sugar." "Black, please." Shepard poured 2 cups, sat across from her at a scarred wooden table. "You're younger than I expected. Marcus talked about you, but I pictured, I don't know, someone older." "I'm 20. "Christ, 20. He shook his head. "What did Elena tell you?" Riley recounted everything. The trafficking operation, the delayed extraction, the hidden evidence. Shepard listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was silent for a long time. "Most of that's true," he finally said. "Marcus discovered something rotten, and it got him killed. But Elena doesn't know the half of it." "Then tell me the rest." "It's not that simple. What Marcus found, it goes higher than you can imagine. Admirals, generals, defense contractors with billion-dollar budgets, the kind of people who make problems disappear. I don't care how high it goes." "You should, because if you start digging, they'll come for you, and they won't be as gentle as they were with Marcus." Riley leaned forward. "They killed my brother. My only sibling. The person I loved most in this world. You think I'm going to walk away because it's dangerous?" Shepard studied her. Really looked at her the way a trainer evaluates a recruit. "You're not a combat operator. You're canine support. A handler, not a fighter." "I know what I am." "Do you? Because where this leads, being a dog walker isn't going to keep you alive." "Then teach me." The words hung in the air. Shepard's eyebrows rose. "Excuse me. Teach me. Train me. Whatever Marcus knew, whatever skills he had, give them to me. I'm not asking to become a SEAL. I'm asking to become someone who can survive long enough to get justice." "That's not how it works, kid. You can't just—" "Marcus trusted you. He called you Shepard because you guided him." "Guide me." Shepard stood, walked to the window, looked out at his dogs running in the morning light. "Your brother was special. 1 in a million. Natural warrior-born instincts. You. I'm not him. I know that." "No, you're not." He turned back. "But you've got his eyes. That same stubborn fire." He paused. "There's something you should know. Something Elena couldn't tell you because she doesn't know." "What? Marcus didn't die in that ambush. At least not from enemy fire." Riley's blood went cold. "What do you mean? I have contacts, still active. They got me the classified after-action report. The real one, not the sanitized version." Shepard sat back down, his face grave. "Marcus survived the ambush. He was wounded but mobile. He was extracted but not by the QRF." "I don't understand." "A separate team reached him first. Black Ops, off the books. They took him to a forward operating base and he died there. Officially from wounds sustained in combat. But my contact says there were no exit wounds consistent with the bullet damage on his vest, and the base's security footage for that night mysteriously corrupted." Riley couldn't breathe. "They executed him." "That's my belief. They took him alive, interrogated him, found out what he knew, and where he hid the evidence. When he wouldn't talk, they killed him and staged it as combat death. Who did this? I don't know, but I know who gave the order to delay the extraction. Commander Derek Stone, Marcus's direct superior. The name burned into Riley's brain. Derek Stone. Where is he now? Still at Special Warfare Group. Still in command. Still protected. Shepard leaned forward. I've been waiting 18 months for someone to come. Someone who cared enough to fight. I thought it might be your father. My father believes the official story. Thomas Callahan was always a company man. Believes what the Navy tells him to believe. Shepard shook his head. But you're different. I can see it. Will you help me? A long silence. Then, there's someone you need to meet first. Someone who was there that night and made it back alive. Who? Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Vega. They called him Razor. He was Marcus's number 2. He knows things that never made it into any report. But getting him to talk... Shepard exhaled. That's going to be a challenge. Razor's not the man he used to be. They found Razor Vega in a VA hospital in Richmond, psychiatric ward. Riley stood outside his room looking through the small window at a man who barely resembled the warrior in the photographs Shepard had shown her. He was thin, hollow-eyed, his hands trembling constantly. PTSD, Shepard said quietly. Severe. He's been in and out of this place 3 times since coming home. Can he talk? On good days, this might not be a good day. They entered. Razor looked up and his eyes immediately locked onto Shepard with recognition and fear. Shepard, what are you doing here? Brought someone to see you, Razor. Someone you need to meet. Razor's gaze shifted to Riley. His trembling intensified. Marcus's sister. I've seen photos. You look like him. So I'm told. Get out. Riley didn't move. I need to know what happened in Syria. Nothing happened. Ambush. Your brother died a hero. End of story. That's not what the evidence says. Razor's face contorted. What evidence? There is no evidence. Marcus is dead. The mission is classified. Forget about it. Forget all of it. I can't. He was my brother. And he was my commander, Razor shouted, lurching to his feet. A nurse appeared at the door, concerned. Shepard waved her off. He was my friend. My brother in every way that matters. You think I don't want justice? You think I don't wake up every night seeing him die? Then help me. Help you what? Get yourself killed. That's what happens to people who ask questions. Stone made that very clear. Riley stepped closer. Stone threatened you. Razor laughed, a broken, hollow sound. Threatened. He visited me here. Sat right where you're sitting. Told me exactly what would happen to my family if I ever talked. My mother. My sisters. He knew their addresses. Knew their schedules. He can do whatever he wants. You don't understand what you're dealing with. These people run the shadow government. They have budgets that don't exist. Operations that never happened. And bodies that were never found. Marcus tried to stop them and they erased him. They'll erase you too. Then help me erase them first. Razor stared at her. Something flickered in his dead eyes, a spark almost invisible. You're 20 years old, a canine handler, a nobody. So was Marcus once. The spark grew brighter. Razor sat back down slowly. He talked about you. All the time. Said you were tougher than you looked. Said you had the heart of a warrior. Did he tell you where he hid the evidence? No. He didn't trust anyone with that. But he told me something else. Razor leaned forward, voice dropping. He said that if anything happened to him, the answer was with Ghost. Ghost. His dog. Belgian Malinois, best combat canine I ever worked with. They had a bond, something almost supernatural. Marcus used to joke that Ghost was the only one he trusted with his life completely. Riley's heart stuttered. What happened to Ghost? After Marcus died, they retired him. Combat canines bond with their handlers. When the handler dies, the dog often can't function anymore. Last I heard, Ghost was scheduled for euthanasia. No. The word came out like a bullet. It's standard procedure. A dog that can't work is, no, where is he? Riley, where is my brother's dog? Razor and Shepard exchanged glances. Awaiting disposition at the Naval Special Warfare K-9 facility, Shepard said quietly. Norfolk, but you can't just... Riley was already moving toward the door. Riley, Shepard called. You can't walk in there and demand a combat K-9. There's procedure paperwork. Then start the paperwork. I'm a K-9 handler. I'm requesting transfer of a retired military working dog. That's within regulations. It takes months. She stopped at the door, turned back. How long before they euthanize him? Silence. Shepard. How long? 72 hours. Riley broke 14 traffic laws getting back to Norfolk. She burst into the K-9 facility at 1400 hours, still in the civilian clothes she'd worn to the ranch. I need to see Ghost. Belgian Malinois retired last month. Handler was Chief Petty Officer Marcus Callahan. The duty officer looked up from his desk, unimpressed. And you are Petty Officer Riley Callahan, K-9 support handler. Related to the deceased, his sister. The officer's expression softened slightly. I'm sorry for your loss, but I can't let you see a combat K-9 without authorization. Then get me authorization. It doesn't work that way. The dog is scheduled for disposition. Euthanasia, call it what it is. And the process is already underway. The dog has been evaluated and deemed unfit for redeployment or civilian adoption. On whose evaluation? The facility veterinarian, and I want to see that evaluation now. The officer's face hardened. You're making demands above your pay grade, petty officer. That dog saved American lives. My brother trusted him more than anyone on this earth. And you're going to kill him because some paperwork says he's inconvenient. It's not about convenience, it's about safety. The dog is aggressive, unpredictable, and dangerous. He attacked a handler yesterday. He's grieving. His partner is dead. He doesn't understand. Petty Officer Callahan, you need to leave. 2 military police officers appeared behind her. Riley's fists clenched. This wasn't over. She called Shepard from the parking lot. They won't let me see him. They're moving up the euthanasia tomorrow morning. Riley, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, help me. There's nothing I can do. The Navy doesn't listen to retired operators. Then who do they listen to? A pause. Your father is an admiral. My father won't help. Have you asked him? Riley gripped the phone so hard it creaked. Her father hadn't returned her calls in 3 days, hadn't spoken to her at Marcus's memorial except to tell her to stand straight. He won't even talk to me. Then make him talk. You want Ghost. You want justice for Marcus. Sometimes the hardest battle isn't against enemies. It's against the people who are supposed to be on your side. Admiral Thomas Callahan's office was on the 4th floor of Naval Station Norfolk headquarters. Riley had to go through 3 security checkpoints to reach it. The Admiral is in a meeting, his aide said. You can schedule an appointment. I'm his daughter. I'm aware. He's still in a meeting. I'll wait. She sat for 2 hours. Officers came and went, giving her curious looks. The Admiral's daughter sitting in the hallway like a supplicant. Finally, the door opened. 3 captains filed out, followed by her father. He saw her and stopped. Something flashed across his face. Surprise, annoyance. For a moment, Riley thought she saw grief. Then it was gone. "Riley, I wasn't expecting you." "I called. You didn't answer." "I've been busy. The memorial service, the paperwork. Marcus's dog is going to be euthanized tomorrow." The Admiral's jaw tightened. "That's not my department. But it's your Navy. One phone call. That's all it would take." The dog was evaluated. The dude was a combat veteran with over 20 successful missions. He's saved more lives than half the officers in this building, and they want to kill him because he's sad that his handler is dead. "Keep your voice down." "No, I won't." Riley stood. "You're an admiral. You have power. Use it. For a dog. For Marcus's dog. For the partner he trusted with his life. Or doesn't that mean anything to you?" The words hung between them. Admiral Callahan's face was stone. "Marcus is dead," he said quietly. "A dog won't bring him back." "But we can save what mattered to him. Doesn't that count for something?" Silence stretched. The Admiral looked at his daughter, really looked at her, perhaps for the first time since Marcus's death. "You're just like your brother," he finally said. "Stubborn, emotional, can't accept the way things are." "Is that an insult?" "It's an observation." He turned to his aide. "Get me Colonel Peters at K9 Command. Tell him I want the disposition on Ghost suspended pending review." "Sir, do it now." The aide scrambled. Riley stared at her father, not quite believing what she'd heard. "Thank you." "Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you." The Admiral's voice was heavy. "I'm doing it because your brother asked me once, before his last deployment. He said if anything happened to him, to make sure Ghost was taken care of." "I forgot. Until now. Dad, take the dog. But don't come to me again asking for favors involving Marcus. He's gone. The investigation is closed. Let him rest." "The investigation isn't closed." "What?" Riley squared her shoulders. "Marcus wasn't killed by enemy fire. He was murdered. And I'm going to prove it." The Admiral's face went pale, then red, then stone cold. "You will do nothing of the kind." "I already am. Riley, listen to me very carefully. Your brother died in combat. That's the official record. That's the truth. The truth is that he was executed for exposing a weapons trafficking operation run by military contractors with protection from senior officers." "That's insane. Who told you?" "Does it matter? The evidence exists. Marcus hid it, and I'm going to find it." The Admiral grabbed her arm, pulled her into his office, slammed the door. "Stop. Right now. You don't know what you're doing." "I know exactly what I'm doing. You're going to get yourself killed. Like Marcus." The words hung in the air. Admiral Callahan looked like she'd slapped him. Marcus died a hero. Marcus died because someone in this building gave an order that delayed his extraction, an order that got him captured, interrogated, and murdered. And you believe the official story because it's easier than facing the truth. You have no evidence. Not yet, but I will. She pulled her arm free, opened the door. "Ghost, tomorrow morning. Make sure they don't touch him." She was gone before he could respond. They brought Ghost to her at 0800 the next morning. Riley stood in the kennel's, heart pounding, as two handlers approached with a muzzled Belgian Malinois on a tight lead. The dog's fur was matted, his eyes wild. He pulled against the leash head, swinging, searching for something or someone. "Careful," one of the handlers said. "He's been aggressive since Marcus died." "Yeah. Won't eat. Won't cooperate with handlers. We've tried everything." Riley knelt. Ghost's eyes locked onto her, and for a moment his pulling stopped. He sniffed the air. "Hey boy," Riley said softly. "I know you don't know me, but I knew someone you loved very much." Ghost whined, high and keening, heartbreak in sound form. "I'm Riley, Marcus's sister. He talked about you all the time. Said you were the best partner he ever had." The dog's body trembled. His eyes, amber, impossibly intelligent, stayed fixed on her face. "I need your help. Something bad happened to Marcus, and I need to find out the truth. Will you help me?" Ghost lunged forward. The handlers yanked back on the lead, but they weren't fast enough. Riley didn't flinch, as 85 pounds of muscle and teeth closed the distance between them. Ghost didn't attack. He pressed his head against Riley's chest, and the sound that came from him was almost human. A sob. A howl of grief compressed into a single note. Riley wrapped her arms around him, buried her face in his fur. "I know, boy. I miss him too." The handlers stared, stunned. "I'll take him," Riley said, voice thick. "Get me the paperwork." She drove Ghost to Shepard's ranch that afternoon. The old man was waiting on the porch. "You actually did it." "I had motivation." Ghost jumped out of the Jeep, nose working, taking in the scent of the property. When he spotted Shepard, his tail, which hadn't moved once since Riley had taken him, gave a single wag. "He remembers you," Riley said. "I trained him, before he was assigned to Marcus." Shepard knelt, held out his hand. Ghost approached, sniffed, and leaned against the old man's leg. "Hey, old friend. It's been a while." Razor said the answer is with Ghost. What did Marcus mean? Shepard stood thinking. Marcus was clever. If he hid something, he'd put it where only someone who knew him would look. Riley looked at Ghost. His tactical vest. The one he wore on operations. Is it still at the facility? Standard procedure is to retire the equipment with the dog. Everything would have been stored together. They gave me his effects. It's in my Jeep. They unpacked the box together. Ghost watched with intense interest as Riley pulled out the worn tactical vest. K99 markings, patches, worn smooth by use pouches, and pockets designed for combat utility. It's been searched, Shepard said. They would have gone through everything before storage. But they didn't know what they were looking for. Riley ran her hands over the vest, slowly feeling every seam, every pocket. Ghost pressed close, whining softly. Wait. Her fingers found something in the chest plate, a slight bulge where the protective insert should sit flat. There's something here. She pried the insert from its housing, and there taped to the back was a small black thumb drive. Son of a bitch, Shepard breathed. Ghost's tail wagged. Shepard's computer was old but functional. Riley inserted the drive heart, hammering. Files appeared. Hundreds of them. Videos, photos, documents, encrypted files with names like Harlow Transfers and Stone Orders. This is it, Riley whispered. Everything he collected. Shepard clicked on a video file. Marcus's face appeared gaunt and tired, filmed in what looked like a safe house. My name is Chief Petty Officer Marcus Callahan. I'm recording this in case I don't make it back. If you're watching this, it means they got me. So here's the truth. Riley's hand covered her mouth. Ghost pressed against her legs. For the past 18 months, I've been documenting a weapons trafficking operation run through Navy logistics channels, military-grade weapons being diverted to terrorist organizations. The operation is protected at the highest levels. Admiral Vincent Harlow is the mastermind, and my commanding officer Derek Stone runs the ground operations. Shepard paused the video. Harlow. Jesus Christ. You know him, Everyone knows him. Deputy Commander of Naval Special Warfare. One of the most powerful men in the Navy. Riley hit play. Documented 23 separate transfers totaling over $50 million in weaponry. I have video of Harlow meeting with contractors, audio of Stone, ordering shipments, financial records showing where the money goes. Enough to bring down everyone involved. Marcus paused, ran a hand through his hair. His eyes found the camera. Found it seemed Riley herself. If you're my sister, and I think you might be because you're too stubborn to let this go, then I'm sorry. I never wanted you involved in this, but I also know you won't stop until you find the truth. So here it is. The full encryption key for the protected files is in 2 parts. The first half is in my father's office, hidden in the compass I gave him for his birthday. The second half is with Elena Reyes. She knows how to contact my source inside Harlow's operation. Another pause. Marcus's eyes glistened. I love you, little warrior. I'm proud of you. Whatever happens, never quit. That's what the old man always said. Never quit, never surrender, never stop fighting for what's right. He leaned forward to stop the recording. Just before the screen went black, he spoke one more time. And take care of Ghost. He'll take care of you. The video ended. Silence filled the room. Riley was crying. She didn't bother wiping the tears. We need both halves of the encryption key, Shepard said quietly. The compass from your father, and whatever Elena knows. My father won't help. He told me to drop this. Then we get it without his help. Break into an admiral's office, that's treason. So is what Harlow and Stone have been doing. Shepard turned to face her fully. Your brother died to expose this. Are you willing to finish what he started? Riley looked at Ghost. The dog looked back, eyes steady, trusting. Tell me how. But before they could plan their next move, Shepard's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and his face went white. What is it? Elena Reyes. His voice was hollow. She was found dead this morning. Ruled suicide. No. Riley grabbed the phone. The text was from a contact labeled only Insider, a link to a news article. Military psychologist found dead at home. Apparent suicide. No foul play suspected. They know, Riley said. They know I'm looking. They're cleaning house. Anyone who could talk anyone with information, then I'm next. Shepard met her eyes. Probably. Yes. Ghost growled softly, sensing the fear in the room. What do? We move faster than they expect. Tonight. The compass from your father's office. And then we find Elena's backup before they do. And if we fail... Shepard didn't answer. He didn't need to. They drove back to Norfolk as night fell. Ghost sat between them, alert, watchful. I need you to wait outside, Riley said as they parked near the naval headquarters. If I'm not back in 40 minutes, I'm coming in. You're retired. They'll arrest you. I've been arrested before. Shepard checked his watch. 40 minutes. Go. Riley slipped from the jeep. Ghost tried to follow. No, boy. Stay with Shepard. Ghost whined, but obeyed. The headquarters building was mostly empty at this hour. Riley used her ID to access the side entrance, walked confidently through the halls like she belonged there. Her father's office was locked, but she'd spent years as a Navy brat learning the tricks. A credit card, 2 seconds of pressure, and the lock clicked open. The compass was on his desk. Brass antique, a gift from Marcus 2 years ago. Riley picked it up, heart racing. She twisted the casing. Nothing. Tried to pry it open. Still nothing. Think, Riley. Think like Marcus. She examined every inch. Then on the underside, she found a tiny inscription. Never stop finding your way home. Home. Marcus's handwriting, his voice in her head. She pressed the center of the inscription. A tiny click. The base of the compass slid open, revealing a hollow compartment. Inside was a micro SD card and a slip of paper. Half an encryption key. Got it. She slipped the card into her pocket, reassembled the compass, replaced it on the desk. The office door opened. Admiral Thomas Callahan stood in the doorway. Riley. She froze. Her mind raced through explanations, lies, excuses. Dad, I was just breaking into my office. He stepped inside, closed the door. Looking for something. I can explain. Can you? Because from where I'm standing, this looks like espionage. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. Riley's hand closed around the SD card in her pocket. Everything she needed. Everything Marcus died for. Right there. I found Marcus's evidence. The trafficking operation he documented. Admiral Harlow, Commander Stone, they're all guilty. And I can prove it. Her father's face didn't change. Where is this evidence? Hidden. But I have part of the encryption key. I just need the other half, from Elena Reyes, who conveniently died today. Riley's blood ran cold. How do you know about Elena? I'm an admiral. I know many things. He stepped closer. I also know that you're making a terrible mistake. The people you're investigating, they're not who you think they are. They killed Marcus. Marcus died in combat. He was executed. By whom? Her father's voice sharpened. Terrorists, corrupt contractors, or maybe... He paused, something flickering in his eyes. Maybe you're looking in the wrong direction entirely. Riley stared at him. A terrible thought formed in her mind. You know something. Something you're not telling me. I know that if you continue this investigation, you will die. Just like your brother. Is that a warning or a threat? Silence. Admiral Callahan moved to his desk, sat down heavily. For the first time, Riley noticed how old he looked. How tired. Your brother was a hero, he said quietly. But he was also reckless. He saw corruption and thought he could expose it through proper channels. He trusted people he shouldn't have trusted. Who? It doesn't matter now. It matters to me. No. Her father looked up and his eyes were haunted. What matters is that you walk away. Tonight. Forget what you've found, destroy that SD card, and never speak of this again. I can't do that. You don't have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Marcus made his, now I'm making mine. She moved toward the door. Her father didn't stop her. Riley. She paused, hand on the knob. If you do this, if you pursue this, I can't protect you. They'll come for you, and there's nothing I can do. There's something you could do, Dad. You could help me. You could choose the right side. There is no right side. There's only survival. Riley opened the door. Then I guess we have different definitions of what life is worth. She left him sitting alone in the dark. Shepard was pacing beside the Jeep when she returned. Ghost leaped out to greet her, tail wagging. Well, Riley held up the SD card. Got the first half. But Elena's dead, and the second half died with her. Maybe not. Shepard pulled out his phone. While you were inside, I got another message from my contact. Elena had a backup protocol. If anything happened to her, the information would be sent to a secure location. Where? A dead drop. Old-school tradecraft. The location is coded, but my contact is working on it. How long? 24 hours. Maybe less. Riley exhaled. Then we wait. Not here. They'll be watching this building. Shepard headed for the driver's seat. We go to ground, somewhere they won't think to look. Where? I know a place. The safe house was a cabin in the Virginia woods. No electricity, no running water, no connection to the outside world. Riley sat by candlelight, the SD card in her hand. Ghost slept at her feet, exhausted. "Marcus used this place," Shepard said, stoking the wood stove, "when he needed to disappear for a while, between deployments after rough missions. He never told me about it. He didn't tell anyone. That's what made it safe." Riley turned the SD card over in her fingers. "Half the key, half the truth. Not enough. We'll get the other half. Elena's backup will come through. And if it doesn't, if they find it first." Shepard was quiet for a moment. Then, "Your brother prepared for that, too." "What do you mean? He told me once if all else failed, the full truth was with the one person who would never betray him. Someone outside the military. Someone with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Who? He wouldn't say, but he described them as the guardian angel who watches from above. That doesn't mean anything to me. It might, eventually. Marcus was clever about his secrets. He hid them in plain sight in words and phrases that only mattered to people who knew him." Riley closed her eyes, searching her memory. All the conversations with Marcus. All the inside jokes, the references, the things only they shared. Guardian angel who watches from above. Nothing came. "I need sleep," she said. "We both do. I'll take first watch. You don't have to." "Yes, I do." Shepard's voice was firm. "Your brother asked me to look after you, if anything happened to him. I ignored that request for 18 months because I was a coward. Not anymore." Riley didn't argue. She lay down on the narrow cot, Ghost immediately pressing against her side. "Shepard, yeah, thank you. For all of this. Don't thank me yet. The hard part hasn't started." She dreamed of Marcus. They were on the beach where they'd grown up, building sandcastles, like they did when they were children. The sun was warm, the waves gentle, and Marcus was laughing. "You found Ghost," he said. "I knew you would. I'm trying to find the truth. You're close, closer than you think. The guardian angel. Who is it?" Marcus smiled that mischievous grin she'd known all her life. "You already know. You just haven't looked up." "What does that mean?" "Look up, Riley. The answer's always been above you." She woke, gasping. Dawn was breaking. Ghost was awake, watching her with those intelligent amber eyes. "Look up. The answer's always been above you." Riley sat bolt upright. "Shepard." He was at her side in an instant, gun drawn. "What is it? I know who the guardian angel is. I know where the backup is." "Where?" Riley grabbed her jacket, her keys. "There's a woman Marcus used to talk about. Someone he met during his first deployment. An investigative journalist. She wrote articles about military corruption, but she couldn't get anyone to go on record." "A journalist?" Marcus said she was untouchable, had sources everywhere. He called her the woman who watches from the sky, because she used drone footage to expose black sites. "Does she have a name?" He only ever called her by her code name. Riley's eyes met Shepard's. "Valkyrie. Her name is Valkyrie. And if Marcus trusted anyone with the full truth, it was her." Ghost barked, once sharp excited, like he understood exactly what was coming. Finding Valkyrie took 3 hours and every contact Shepard had left in the intelligence community. "Her real name is Catherine Mercer," Shepard said, lowering his phone. "Pulitzer Prize winner. Broke the Abu Ghraib follow-up story in 2009. She's been off the grid for 2 years working on something big." "Where is she now?" "Baltimore. Runs a non-profit for military whistleblowers. Publicly, it's a legal aid organization. Privately," he paused, "she's built a network. Sources inside every branch, every agency. If Marcus gave her his evidence, it's in the safest hands possible. Riley was already moving toward the door. Then let's go. Wait, Shepard grabbed her arm. You can't just walk into her office. Mercer is paranoid for good reason. She's had 3 attempts on her life. She doesn't meet with anyone she hasn't vetted. Then how do we get to her? We don't. She gets to us. He handed Riley a burner phone. I sent a message through back channels, used Marcus's codename. If she knew him, she'll respond. And if she doesn't, then we're out of options. The phone buzzed in Riley's hand. She nearly dropped it. One text message. No sender ID. The brother's sister. Pier 7, Baltimore Harbor. 1 hour. Come alone. Bring the dog. Riley looked at Ghost. The dog's ears were already perked ready. She knows about Ghost. Shepard nodded slowly. Marcus told her everything. This might actually work. Baltimore Harbor was empty at this hour. Riley walked the pier with Ghost at her side, every shadow a potential threat, every sound a possible ambush. You came alone, the voice came from behind her. Riley spun. Catherine Mercer stepped out of the darkness. 60 years old, silver hair, cropped short eyes that had seen too much truth and paid the price for it. She moved like someone who'd learned to watch her back. You're Marcus's sister. I see the resemblance. You knew my brother. I knew a hero who was willing to die for the truth. Whether he was your brother or not doesn't change what he did. Mercer approached, knelt to look at Ghost. And this is the famous Ghost. Marcus talked about you constantly. Ghost sniffed her hand, then his tail wagged once. Approval. He trusted you, Mercer said, standing. That means I can trust you. The dog knows. I need the evidence Marcus gave you. I know what you need. The question is whether you're ready for what comes next. I'm ready. Mercer studied her for a long moment. You're 20 years old, a K-9 handler, not even a combat operator, and you want to take down an admiral and his entire network. They killed my brother. They've killed dozens of people. Soldiers, civilians, journalists. One of my sources was found in a river last month. Another disappeared completely. This isn't a game. I'm not playing. Something shifted in Mercer's expression. Respect, perhaps. Recognition of the same fire she'd seen in Marcus. Your brother gave me a complete copy of his evidence. Videos, documents, financial records. Enough to bring down Harlow Stone and everyone connected to them. Riley's heart leaped. Then why haven't you published it? Because I can't verify the chain of custody. Without Marcus alive to testify, it's just files on a drive. Any defense attorney would argue they were fabricated. We need a living witness. Razor Vega. He was there. He knows. Vega is in a psychiatric facility heavily medicated with documented mental health issues. His testimony would be torn apart in minutes. Then what do we need? Mercer stepped closer. We need someone inside the operation to flip. Someone with direct knowledge of current activities. Someone who can testify that this isn't ancient history. It's happening right now. Who? Commander Derek Stone has a second in command. Lieutenant Commander James Prescott. My sources say he's been having doubts. His wife recently had a baby. He's starting to question whether the money is worth the risk. You want me to turn him? I want you to give him a reason to turn himself. Show him Marcus's evidence. Make him understand that the ship is sinking and he needs to choose a lifeboat. How do I get to him? Mercer handed her a file folder. Everything you need. His schedule, his habits, his pressure points. He goes to the same bar every Thursday night, alone. That's tomorrow. Riley took the folder. And if he won't flip, then we find another way. But Riley, Mercer's voice hardened. If Stone finds out what you're doing, he won't send mercenaries. He'll come himself. And Derek Stone doesn't leave witnesses. The bar was called Murphy's. Old-school Navy hangout, the kind of place where officers went to drink away memories they couldn't shake. Riley sat in a corner booth, nursing a beer she hadn't touched. Ghost was with Shepard, waiting in the car. This meeting had to happen face-to-face, human to human. Lieutenant Commander James Prescott walked in at 2100 hours, exactly on schedule. He was younger than Riley expected, maybe 35. Wedding ring on his finger bags, under his eyes, the look of a man who hadn't slept well in months. Riley watched him order whiskey, watched him drink it alone at the bar, watched him order another. Then she stood and walked over. "This seat taken." Prescott looked up, immediately wary. "Do I know you?" "No, but you knew my brother, Marcus Callahan." The color drained from his face. He set down his glass carefully. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Yes, you do. And I think you've been waiting for someone to say his name out loud." Prescott was silent for a long moment. Then, "You shouldn't be here." "Neither should you." "But here we are." "Listen to me carefully. Walk away. Right now. Forget you ever found me." "I can't do that." "Then you're going to end up like your brother." Riley didn't flinch. "Maybe, but I'll take a lot of people with me." She slid a photograph across the bar. It was a still from Marcus's video, Admiral Harlow shaking hands with a known arms dealer. Prescott stared at it. His hand trembled. "Where did you get this? Marcus left me everything. Every video, every document, every financial transaction." Riley leaned closer. "I have enough to bring down the entire operation. What I don't have is a living witness." "And you think that's going to be me?" "I think you're a father now. I think you look at your daughter and wonder what kind of world she's going to grow up in. I think you're tired of blood money and midnight operations and wondering when Stone is going to decide you know too much." Prescott's jaw tightened. "You don't know anything about me." "I know you requested transfer twice last year, denied both times. I know your wife filed for separation in March, but withdrew it. I know you've been drinking alone every Thursday for 6 months." Riley's voice softened. "I know you want out. I'm offering you a way." "There is no way out. Stone owns everyone. Harlow has protection at the highest levels. The moment I talk, I'm dead. And if you don't talk, how long before they decide you're a liability anyway?" The question hung between them. Prescott picked up his whiskey, drained it. "What exactly do you want from me? Current operations, proof that the trafficking is ongoing, testimony that connects Harlow and Stone to Marcus's death." "That's a death sentence." "Witness protection. New identity. Your family relocated before anyone knows you've flipped." "You can arrange that. The journalist I'm working with has contacts, FBI, DOJ. People who've been trying to nail Harlow for years. You give them what they need and you disappear." Prescott was quiet for a long time. Riley could see the war happening behind his eyes. Fear versus conscience. Survival versus redemption. "There's a shipment," he said finally. 3 days from now. Largest transfer yet. 50 million in weapons routed through a humanitarian convoy in Syria. Riley's pulse quickened. "Can you document it?" "I can get you access to the logistics. Shipping manifests, routing codes, everything. But once I do that, there's no going back." "Are you willing?" Prescott looked at the photograph again. Harlow's smiling face. The arms dealer's handshake. "My daughter's name is Sophie. She's 4 months old." His voice cracked. "I don't want her to grow up knowing her father was a monster." "Then don't be one. Help me stop this." He nodded slowly. "I'll get you the files. Tomorrow night. Same place, same time. But Riley, if Stone finds out if anything goes wrong, I never met you. I don't know your name. Understood? Understood. Prescott stood left money on the bar. At the door, he paused. Your brother was a good man, the best I ever served with. When they ordered the extraction delay, I knew. We all knew. But we were too afraid to do anything. And now I'm still afraid. But I'm more afraid of what I'll see when I look in the mirror if I stay silent. He was gone before Riley could respond. Shepard was waiting in the car engine running. Ghost barked once when Riley climbed in. Well, he's in. We meet tomorrow night. He's going to give us current operations a shipment in 3 days. You trust him? No, but I don't have a choice. Shepard pulled out of the parking lot. There's something else. While you were inside, I got a message from my contact. Elena's backup. It came through. An encrypted file sent to a secure server hours before she died. My contact is decrypting it now. What's in it? Partial, but enough. Elena documented sessions with Marcus, not the official records. Personal notes. He told her things he didn't tell anyone else. Like what? Shepard's grip tightened on the wheel. Like who gave the final order to have him killed? Not Stone. Stone was just the executioner. Riley's blood went cold. Who? The file is still being processed. We'll know by morning. They didn't make it to morning. At 300, Riley woke to Ghost's growling. Low, constant, dangerous. Shepard! He was already awake, gun in hand. I heard it. Vehicles. Multiple. They found us. Safe house isn't safe anymore. We move. Now. They grabbed essentials, the evidence weapons, nothing else, and slipped out the back door. In the darkness, Riley could see headlights approaching on the dirt road. How many? 3 vehicles. At least. Stone's people. Does it matter? They ran. Ghost led the way, cutting through the woods with the confidence of a dog who'd navigated far worse terrain. Behind them, doors slammed. Voices shouted. Then gunfire. Bullets tore through the trees. Riley dove, rolled, came up running. Shepard returned fire, covering their retreat. Keep moving. Don't stop. Riley's lungs burned. Her legs screamed. But Marcus's voice was in her head. Never quit. Never surrender. They reached a creek. Ghost plunged in without hesitation. Riley followed icy water, shocking her system. Shepard was right behind. Other side, half-mile, there's a ranger station, vehicle. They ran through the water, obscuring their trail. The pursuit sounds faded behind them, but not far enough. The ranger station was dark, abandoned. Shepard hot-wired a pickup truck in under a minute. Old habits, he said when Riley stared. They drove without headlights for the first 5 miles. Ghost sat between them, panting but alert. How did they find the safe house? Someone talked. Prescott, maybe. He wouldn't. Everyone talks eventually. Or maybe they traced your father. Your phone. Any number of ways. Riley's mind raced. The meeting tomorrow. If Prescott is compromised, then it's a trap. What do? We don't go. Shepard glanced at her. Or we go prepared. We need those files, the current operations. Without them, I know. He was silent for a moment. There might be another way. My contact, the one decrypting Elena's files. If that information identifies who gave the kill order, we won't need Prescott. When will it be ready? She's working as fast as she can. Not fast enough. Dawn found them in a motel outside Richmond. Cash payment, false names, the kind of place that didn't ask questions. Riley sat on the bed, the SD card in her hand. Half the encryption key, half the truth. Get some sleep, Shepard said. I'll take first watch. I can't sleep. Not now. Then rest. Your body needs it even if your mind doesn't. Ghost jumped onto the bed, circled twice, and lay down with his head on Riley's lap. His eyes never left the door. He's still protecting you, Shepard said quietly. The way he protected Marcus. I don't deserve it. That's not how loyalty works. It's not about deserving. It's about belonging. Shepard sat in the chair by the window gun across his lap. Your brother loved that dog more than anything in the world, except you, and somehow Ghost knows that. He transferred that love. Riley stroked Ghost's ears. Marcus saved him, you know, from the breeding program. Ghost was supposed to be put down because he was too aggressive. Marcus fought for him, convinced Command that the aggression was just loyalty waiting to be earned. Your brother had a gift, seeing potential where others saw problems. He saw potential in me. When everyone else said I was too young, too small, too female to matter, Marcus believed I could do anything. He was right. Riley looked up. Shepard's face was shadowed, tired, but sincere. You don't know that. I'm starting to. Shepard's phone buzzed. He answered, listened, and his expression changed. When? A pause. Are you sure? Another pause. Send everything. Encrypted channel. He hung up. What? Elena's file is decrypted. My contact sent it. He held up the phone. Do you want to know who ordered your brother's death? Riley's heart stopped. Tell me. Shepard turned the phone so she could see the screen. The name there shattered everything she thought she knew. Admiral Thomas Callahan. Her father. No. The word came out as a whisper. That's impossible. Elena documented everything. Sessions where Marcus expressed fear. Fear of what he'd discovered about his own father's involvement. My father is many things. Cold, distant, career-obsessed. But he couldn't. Riley. Shepard's voice was gentle. The evidence is there. Your father is connected to Harlow's operation. Has been for 15 years. Marcus discovered it. That's why he couldn't go to official channels. That's why he trusted only outsiders. You're saying my father had my brother killed his own son. I'm saying the evidence points that way, whether he gave the final order or just failed to stop it. That's not the same thing, Ghost whined, pressing closer. Riley stood paced, hands shaking. Her mind rejected it. Her heart screamed denial. But Marcus's video played in her memory. He trusted people he shouldn't have trusted. Their father. The Admiral. The man who told her to stop investigating. The compass, she breathed. Marcus hid the encryption key in a gift he gave our father. Why would he do that if Dad was the enemy? Maybe it wasn't a gift. Maybe it was a test, to see if your father would find it, report it. And he didn't. No, he didn't. Riley sank back onto the bed. Everything she'd believed, everything she'd built her life around, crumbled. He told me Marcus died a hero. He looked me in the eyes and she couldn't finish. People compartmentalize, especially people who've done terrible things. He may have convinced himself that Marcus's death was necessary, for the greater good, for the operation. There is no greater good that justifies murdering your own child. I agree, but not everyone operates by the same moral code. Riley was silent for a long time. Ghost's warmth against her leg was the only thing keeping her grounded. What do we do now? We have choices. Go to Mercer, give her everything, let her publish. Or we go after Stone ourselves, get him to flip on Harlow and your father. My father. The words tasted like ash. I have to confront him. That's the worst possible. I have to know. From his own mouth. I have to look him in the eyes and ask if he killed Marcus. Riley, he'll deny it. Or worse, he'll have you arrested. Or killed. He's my father. He was Marcus's father, too. The truth of that statement landed like a blow. Riley doubled over, finally, letting the sobs come. Shepard didn't speak, didn't try to comfort her, just watched, understanding that some grief had to be felt before it could be weaponized. After several minutes, Riley straightened, wiped her face. Her eyes were red, but her voice was steel. We keep the meeting with Prescott. We get the current operations files. And then, she paused, steadying herself. Then we take them all down. Harlow, Stone, and my father. Shepard nodded slowly. Are you sure? Riley looked at Ghost. The dog looked back, ready for whatever came next. Marcus died for this. I'm not going to let his sacrifice mean nothing, even if the truth destroys everything I ever believed about my family. The phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Riley answered. Hello? Did you think I wouldn't find out? The voice was familiar. Cold. Controlled. Commander Derek Stone. You've been very busy, little girl. Meeting with Mercer, turning my second in command, digging into things that should stay buried. How did you get this number? I have resources you can't imagine. I know where you are. I know who you're with. And I know that you have something that belongs to me. The evidence belongs to the world, not to you. Stone laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. Your brother thought he was a hero too. Look where it got him. You killed him. I executed an order. There's a difference. And now I have a new order. You, that old man, and that dog you're so attached to. Come and get us. Oh, I will, but first a piece of information you might find interesting. Stone paused, savoring the moment. Your father isn't just connected to the operation. He founded it, 20 years ago. Admiral Thomas Callahan is the architect of everything you're trying to destroy. The line went dead. Riley stared at the phone, blood cold. He's lying. He has to be lying. But Shepard's expression said what she already knew. Stone wasn't lying, and the nightmare was just beginning. Riley's hands wouldn't stop shaking. 20 years. Her father had been running this operation since before she was born. Every birthday, every family dinner, every time he'd looked at her with what she thought was love, it was all built on a foundation of blood money and dead soldiers. We need to move, Shepard said, already packing. Stone knows our location. How long do we have? Minutes, maybe less. Ghost was already at the door, hackles raised. He knew. They ran. The highway blurred past at 90 miles per hour. Shepard drove while Riley worked the burner phone, trying to reach Mercer. She's not answering. Keep trying. What if they got to her? Then we're on our own. The phone finally connected. Mercer's voice was tight with controlled fear. Where are you? Heading south on I-95. Stone found us. He knows everything. I know. Prescott is dead. Riley's stomach dropped. What? Found this morning. Apparent suicide. Gunshot to the head. He was going to help us. He was going to... They got to him first. Someone talked. Or they were monitoring him all along. Mercer's voice hardened. Listen to me carefully. Stone isn't your biggest problem anymore. What do you mean? Your father knows you have the evidence. He's mobilized assets, not military private contractors, the kind of people who don't exist on any payroll. My father is sending assassins after his own daughter. Your father has been sending assassins after people for 20 years. You're not special to him, Riley. You're a threat. The words cut deep, but Riley forced herself to focus. What do? There's only one play left. We go public. Now. Before they can stop us. We don't have the full encryption key. We can't access all the files. We have enough. Marcus's video statement, the partial documents, Elena's notes. It won't hold up in court, but it'll blow the story wide open. Once it's public, they can't contain it. Where do we meet? My office in Baltimore. 2 hours. I'll have my people ready to broadcast the moment you arrive. Shepard shook his head. It's a trap. They'll be waiting. Maybe, Mercer said. But what choice do we have? They ditched the truck in Delaware, stole a sedan from a used car lot. Shepard hot-wired it in under 30 seconds. You've done this before. More times than I can count. He pulled onto the highway. We need to talk about your father. I don't want to talk about my father. Too bad. Because in 2 hours you're going to face him. What? Think about it. Stone knows we're heading to Baltimore. Your father knows. Mercer's office is the obvious destination. They'll be there. Then we're walking into an ambush. Yes, but we're not walking in blind. Shepard glanced at her. I've been in ambushes before. The key is to spring them on your terms, not theirs. How? We don't go to Mercer's office. We get her to come to us. Somewhere public, somewhere they can't move without witnesses. Riley thought for a moment. The harbor, where I met Mercer the first time. Too isolated at night. Then somewhere in the city. A restaurant, a hotel lobby. Better. But we need insurance. Shepard's jaw tightened. We need someone on the inside. Prescott is dead. Who else? Your father. Riley stared at him. You're insane. Hear me out. Your father founded this operation, but he's also the only one with the authority to shut it down. If we can turn him, turn him. He had Marcus killed. Maybe. Or maybe Stone acted on his own. Maybe your father doesn't know the full extent of what happened. You're making excuses for a murderer. I'm looking for leverage. There's a difference. Shepard's voice softened. Riley, I've seen men like your father before. They build empires on lies, and eventually the lies become so big they can't see the truth anymore. Sometimes all it takes is the right person saying the right words to crack the facade. And you think I'm that person. You're his daughter, his only surviving child. If anyone can reach him, it's you. Riley looked out the window. Her reflection stared back a 20-year-old woman in over her head, drowning in betrayals she couldn't have imagined. What if he can't be reached? Then we burn it all down together, him included. They reached Baltimore at sunset. Shepard parked in a garage 3 blocks from the harbor. New plan. You call your father. Tell him you want to meet. Alone. He'll never agree. He will if you offer him something he wants. Like what? The evidence. Tell him you'll trade the SD card for the truth about Marcus. Face to face. No intermediaries. He'll bring Stone. Of course he will. That's what we're counting on. Shepard handed her a small device. GPS tracker. Palm-sized. When you meet him, plant it on Stone somehow. Once we know where he goes, we can plan our next move. And if things go wrong, Shepard looked at Ghost. Then we trust your brother's dog to do what he was trained to do. Ghost's ears perked up at the mention of Marcus. His eyes locked onto Riley with an intensity that was almost human. I won't let them hurt you, Riley whispered to him. Whatever happens. Ghost pressed his head against her hand. Promise received. She made the call from a payphone. Old school, untraceable. Riley? Her father's voice was cautious. Where are you? Close. I want to meet. That's not a good idea right now. There are people looking for you. Your people, Dad. Your contractors. Your assassins. Silence on the other end. I know everything, Riley continued. I know you founded the operation. I know you've been running it for 20 years. I know what happened to Marcus. You don't know anything. You've been fed lies by people who want to destroy this family. Then prove me wrong. Meet me. Tell me the truth, all of it. Riley, Harbor Point, 1 hour. Come alone or don't come at all. She paused. And Dad, if you bring Stone, I'll know. And I'll make sure the entire world knows what you've done. She hung up before he could respond. Shepard was waiting. Well, he'll come, and he won't come alone. Good. Then we prepare. Harbor Point at night was quiet, but not deserted. Restaurants, shops, joggers on the waterfront. Public enough to prevent an immediate hit, private enough for a conversation. Riley walked the pier with Ghost at her side. Shepard was positioned on a rooftop 2 blocks away, watching through a scope. I've got eyes on you, his voice crackled through her earpiece. Vehicle approaching from the north. Black SUV, government plates. How many? Driver plus 2 passengers. One of them is your father. The other... Stone. Confirmed. Riley's heart hammered. This was it. The SUV stopped. Doors opened. Admiral Thomas Callahan stepped out first, looking older than she remembered. Behind him, Commander Derek Stone, all Predator in a tailored suit. They walked toward her. Riley held her ground. You came, her father said. I said I would. You shouldn't have. This could all be resolved quietly, Riley, without anyone else getting hurt. Like Marcus was resolved. Her father's face twitched. Pain guilt. She couldn't tell anymore. Stone stepped forward, smiling that cold smile. The famous Riley Callahan. Your brother talked about you constantly, said you were stubborn. I see he wasn't wrong. You killed him. I executed a traitor who was about to destroy 20 years of work. There's a difference. Marcus was a hero. Marcus was a fool, like you. Stone's smile widened. Did you really think you could bring us down a 20-year-old dog handler and a retired operative past his prime? I don't have to bring you down. The evidence will do that. Stone laughed. What evidence? The SD card in your pocket. The partial files you can't even decrypt. He shook his head. We've been monitoring you since day 1. We know exactly what you have. And it's not enough. Riley's blood ran cold. They knew. They'd known all along. Your father was right about one thing, Stone continued. You are just like Marcus. Same stubbornness, same blindness, same inability to see when you've already lost. Then why are you here? Why not just kill me and be done with it? Because your father asked for one chance to reason with you. Stone glanced at the Admiral. A courtesy I wouldn't extend. Her father stepped closer. Riley, please. I know how this looks. But there's so much you don't understand. Then explain it to me. The operation, it started as something necessary. After the Cold War, there were weapons everywhere. Loose nukes, chemical agents, missiles that could have fallen into the wrong hands. We acquired them, secured them, kept them out of terrorist hands. By selling them to other terrorists, by controlling the flow, by deciding who got what. It was imperfect, but it was better than chaos. And the money, the millions in offshore accounts, that was just a side benefit. Her father's jaw tightened. You're too young to understand the world we operate in, the compromises that have to be made. Marcus understood, and you had him killed for it. I didn't. Her father stopped, something breaking in his eyes. I didn't give that order. Riley stared at him. What? The kill order came from above me. People I answer to. When Marcus started investigating, when he found the evidence, they demanded action. I tried to protect him. I tried to redirect the investigation to give him a way out, but he wouldn't stop. You're lying. I'm telling you the truth for the first time in 20 years. Her father's voice cracked. I loved your brother. I love you. Everything I've done, the operation, the lies, all of it, I told myself it was for our family, for our country. But Marcus, he couldn't finish. Stone's expression hardened. Admiral, this is a waste of time. She's not going to cooperate. Shut up, Derek. Her father's voice was sharp. Just shut up. Riley watched her father carefully. 20 years of lies. 20 years of compartmentalization. But in this moment, she saw something real, something human. If you didn't give the order, she said slowly, who did? Her father looked at Stone. Stone's smile faded. You should ask your commander, the Admiral said quietly. He's the one who approached me after Marcus was taken. He's the one who told me there was no other way. Stone's hand moved toward his jacket. Admiral, I'm warning you. You killed my son. Her father's voice was barely a whisper. You told me it was necessary, and I believed you because I was a coward. But my daughter isn't a coward, and neither am I, not anymore. Everything happened at once. Stone drew his weapon. Ghost launched forward with a snarl. Riley dove as shots rang out. Stone fired at her father, hit him in the chest. Ghost's jaws closed around Stone's arm teeth, tearing through fabric and flesh. The gun dropped. Shoot her down, Shepard's voice in her ear. I've got 2 more from the SUV. Stay low. More gunfire. Riley crawled to her father, who was slumped against a pillar, blood spreading across his uniform. Dad, Riley. His eyes were glazing. I'm sorry. Tell Marcus. Tell him I'm sorry. You can tell him yourself. Stay with me. But she knew. The wound was too severe, too much blood. Evidence, her father gasped. My office. It's behind the flag. Combination is your mother's birthday. Dad, don't. I love you, little warrior. Always have, even when I didn't show it. His eyes closed. His breathing stopped. Riley screamed. Ghost had Stone pinned, jaws locked on his throat. The commander was screaming, trying to reach his fallen gun. Call him off! Call him off! Riley stood slowly. Her father's blood was on her hands. Literally. Everything she'd ever known was burning down around her. Ghost, she said calmly. Hold. The dog's growl deepened, but he didn't kill. Not yet. Riley picked up Stone's gun, walked to where he lay. Blood pooled beneath him from the wounds Ghost had inflicted. My father is dead because of you. Your father was weak. He was going to destroy everything. My brother is dead because of you. Marcus was a traitor. He deserved. Riley pressed the gun to Stone's forehead. Her hand was steady. Her heart was ice. Who gave the kill order? The truth. Now. Stone's eyes darted, calculating survival. Harlow. Admiral Harlow authorized everything. But he's untouchable. He has protection from who? People who don't exist. Agencies that aren't in any directory. Kill me, and they'll hunt you forever. They're already hunting me. Riley's finger tightened on the trigger. Give me one reason not to end you right now. Because I can get you Harlow. I have recordings, insurance policies, everything he's done for 20 years. Let me live, and I'll give you everything. Shepard's voice crackled in her ear. Riley, we have incoming. Multiple vehicles. Police and others. 2 minutes. She had seconds to decide. Vengeance or justice. Marcus's voice echoed in her memory. We're warriors. We fight for what's right, even when it costs everything. Riley pulled the gun away from Stone's forehead. Ghost release. The dog stepped back, blood on his muzzle. eyes never leaving Stone. "You're going to testify," Riley said. "Against Harlow. Against everyone. And then you're going to spend the rest of your life in a cell remembering what you did to my family." Stone laughed weakly. "You think prison scares me? Harlow will have me killed before I ever see a courtroom." "Then I suggest you start talking fast." Shepard appeared beside her. "We need to go. Now." Riley took one last look at her father's body. The Admiral. The liar. The man who in the end chose the truth. "I'm sorry, Dad," she whispered. "I forgive you." Then she ran. They commandeered Stone's SUV, threw him in the back, with Ghost standing guard. Shepard drove, while Riley called Mercer. "My father is dead. Stone is in custody. We're coming to you." "What happened?" "Stone shot my father. My father gave us the location of more evidence. His office safe." "Riley, I'm so sorry." "Don't be sorry. Be ready. Stone is going to talk. We're going to get everything." Mercer was silent for a moment. "There's something you should know. While you were at the harbor, we received a package. Anonymous. Delivered by courier." "What package?" "The second half of the encryption key. Elena's backup actually made it through. We can decrypt everything now." Riley closed her eyes. Everything Marcus had gathered. Everything her father had hidden. All of it finally accessible. "How long until you can broadcast?" 2 hours. Maybe less. But Riley Harlow knows we're close. He's mobilizing. If we don't move fast, then move fast. We'll be there in 30 minutes. She hung up and turned to look at Stone in the back seat. Ghost had his paw on the commander's chest, pinning him down. "Comfortable, so go to hell. Already there." Riley leaned closer. "You asked me once who was going to save me. Remember that—" Stone's eyes flickered with recognition. "You thought I was alone. Helpless. Easy prey." Riley smiled grimly. "You didn't account for Ghost. You didn't account for the people my brother trusted. And you didn't account for me. You're 20 years old. You think this is over? Harlow has resources you can't imagine. He'll destroy you. He'll destroy everyone you've ever cared about. Maybe. But not before I destroy him first." Ghost growled once, punctuating her words. Stone fell silent. Mercer's office was chaos when they arrived. Technicians, lawyers, security personnel, all moving with urgent purpose. "We have 45 minutes until broadcast," Mercer said, meeting them at the door. "Is that him?" She looked at Stone, bloody and beaten Ghost still standing guard. "That's him. He says he'll testify." "Under what conditions?" "Protection. For himself and his family." Mercer studied Stone with undisguised contempt. "You helped kill Marcus Callahan. You shot his father tonight. Why should I offer you anything?" "Because I can give you Harlow, everything he's done, every order he's given, every body he's buried." Stone's voice was desperate now. "I have recordings, video, documents, enough to take him down and everyone connected to him." "Where? Secure server. I'll give you the access codes, but only after I have a written guarantee of protection." Mercer looked at Riley. "Your call." Riley wanted to refuse, wanted to watch Stone suffer for everything he'd done, but Marcus's voice was in her head again. Justice isn't revenge. It's accountability. "Give him what he wants, as long as Harlow goes down." Mercer nodded to her legal team. "Draw it up. Fast." The next hour was a blur. Technicians decrypted Marcus's full archive. Stone provided his insurance files. Evidence-mounted video of Harlow ordering shipments, audio of him discussing Marcus's execution financial records showing decades of corruption. "This is enough," Mercer said finally. "More than enough. We can broadcast in 10 minutes. Riley sat in a corner, Ghost at her feet. She should have felt triumphant. Instead, she felt hollow. Her father was dead. Marcus was still dead. All this evidence, all this truth, and it couldn't bring either of them back. Shepard sat beside her. "How are you holding up?" "I don't know." That's an honest answer. "My father died trying to make things right." Does that count for anything? It counts for everything. Shepard's voice was gentle. People aren't just their worst moments. They're also their last ones. Your father chose in the end to stand with you. That matters. Stone killed him. Stone killed a man who was about to bring down an empire. That makes your father a hero in a way. Riley looked at him. Do you believe that? I believe that redemption is possible, even for people who've done terrible things. Shepard paused. Your brother believed it too. That's why he documented everything instead of just disappearing. He wanted to give people a chance to choose differently. Mercer, one of the technicians called. We're live in 5 minutes. Mercer approached Riley. Do you want to be part of this? Make a statement. Tell your brother's story. Riley thought about it. The cameras, the exposure, the world knowing her face, her name, her grief. No, this is Marcus's story. Let the evidence speak for him. Mercer nodded with respect. Then we go live, and we let the truth do what truth does best. The broadcast hit the internet at 2300 hours Eastern. Within minutes, it was trending worldwide. Marcus's video statement played on every network. The evidence scrolled across screens in every newsroom. Admiral Harlow's face became the most recognized image in America. By midnight, the FBI had issued warrants. By 200, Harlow was in custody. Stone, true to his word, testified. For 6 hours straight, he detailed every operation, every kill order, every payment. His testimony sealed the case. Riley watched from Mercer's office as the dominoes fell. Generals arrested, contractors indicted, politicians scrambling to distance themselves. Her father's name was mentioned, his role documented. But so was his final act, turning against Stone, giving his life for the truth. The world would judge him. Riley had already forgiven him. Ghost pressed against her leg as dawn broke over Baltimore. It's over, Shepard said quietly. At least the main part. Is it ever really over? No. But this chapter is. He handed her a cup of coffee. What will you do now? Riley looked at Ghost, the dog who'd run through gunfire to save her, the partner her brother had loved more than anything. Marcus asked me to take care of Ghost. He said Ghost would take care of me. She stroked his ears. He was right. About everything. Your brother usually was. Riley walked to the window. The city was waking up unaware that the world had changed overnight. My father mentioned his office safe, evidence he'd been gathering. I need to see what's there. That can wait. No, it can't. Riley turned back. This isn't just about Harlow or Stone. My father talked about people above him, agencies that don't exist. If they're still out there, then the fight isn't over. It's never over. That's what Marcus would say. Riley looked at Ghost. That's what we both have to accept. Shepard studied her for a long moment. You've changed in the past few days. I've had to. Your brother would be proud. Riley didn't answer. Pride felt hollow now, but purpose, she understood. Let's go, she said. We have a safe to crack, and a war to finish. Ghost stood immediately ready to follow her anywhere. They walked out together into the morning light, leaving the wreckage of one battle behind and walking toward the next. The drive to Naval Station Norfolk felt longer than it should have. Riley sat in the passenger seat, watching the world scroll past, feeling like a stranger in her own skin. Ghost slept in the back, exhausted from the night's violence. "You're quiet," Shepard said. "I'm thinking. About, my father kept evidence in his safe, evidence he'd been gathering. Why, if he was part of the operation, why would he keep proof against himself?" Shepard considered this. "Insurance, maybe. Something to bargain with if things went south. Or maybe he was planning to do what Marcus did. Eventually. When he found the courage." "That's a generous interpretation." "He's dead. I can afford to be generous." They reached the base at 0600. Riley's credentials still worked. No one had thought to revoke them yet. The chaos of the night's revelations was still rippling through command structures. Her father's office was sealed with crime scene tape. Riley ducked under it without hesitation. "You're contaminating a crime scene," Shepard said. "My father told me where to look with his dying breath. I think I'm entitled." The American flag hung on the wall behind the Admiral's desk. Massive, ceremonial, the kind of flag officers posed in front of for official photographs. Riley pulled it aside. Behind it was a wall-safe, old-fashioned mechanical lock. "Your mother's birthday," Shepard said. "September 15th, 1968. Riley spun the dial. The safe clicked open. Inside were folders, dozens of them, each one labeled with dates going back 20 years. Riley pulled out the first folder. Her hands trembled as she read. "Oh my God. What is it?" He documented everything, every operation, every payment, every order he gave, and every order he received. She looked up at Shepard. He knew this day would come. He was preparing for it. A dead man's confession. More than that. Look. Riley handed him a folder. These are communications between Harlow and people above him, government officials, intelligence agencies, names I recognize from the news. Shepard's face went pale as he read. This goes all the way to the top, I know. Riley pulled out more folders. My father wasn't just keeping insurance. He was building a case. For years. Why didn't he do anything with it? Fear, probably. Or maybe he was waiting for the right moment. Riley's voice cracked. Or maybe he was waiting for Marcus to finish what he started. At the bottom of the safe was a sealed envelope. Riley's name was written on it in her father's handwriting. She opened it slowly. Inside was a letter. And a photograph, her father, her mother, Marcus as a baby, Riley not yet born. A family that once existed. A family that was now almost entirely gone. Riley read the letter aloud. My dearest Riley, if you're reading this, I'm gone. And if you're reading this, you've discovered the truth about who I was. I won't make excuses. I did terrible things. I told myself they were necessary, but that was a lie I told to sleep at night. Your brother saw through me. He saw the monster I'd become, and he tried to stop me the only way he knew how, with truth. I should have helped him. Instead, I stayed silent while they killed him. That silence will follow me to hell where I belong. But you, my daughter, you are everything I failed to be. Brave where I was cowardly. Honest where I was corrupt. If there's any redemption for me, it's knowing that I raised a warrior who will finish what Marcus started. In this safe is everything you need. Use it. Destroy them. All of them. And when it's done, live a life worthy of your brother's memory. I love you. I always have. Even when I didn't deserve to. Dad. Riley folded the letter carefully. Her eyes burned, but she refused to cry. Not here. Not yet. He knew, she whispered. He knew he was going to die. Men like your father often do, when the walls start closing in. He chose this. He provoked Stone on purpose. Suicide by confession. Redemption by sacrifice. Riley looked at the folders in her hands. He gave us the weapons to finish this. Now we use them. They drove to Mercer's office with the folders. The journalist's eyes widened as she flipped through the pages. This is unprecedented. 20 years of documented corruption at the highest levels of military and government. Can you verify it? Some of it matches what we already have. The rest... Mercer shook her head. This will take weeks to authenticate properly. We don't have weeks. I know. Mercer set down the folders. But if we publish without verification, they'll discredit everything. Say it was fabricated. Planted evidence from a dead man trying to clear his conscience. Then what do? We need living witnesses. People who can corroborate what's in these documents. Riley thought for a moment. Razor Vega. He was there. He saw what happened to Marcus. Vega is in psychiatric care. His testimony would be challenged. What if he's not crazy? What if the PTSD is real, but he's still capable of telling the truth? It's a risk. Everything is a risk. Riley stood. I'm going to see him, today. The VA hospital was quiet when Riley arrived. Ghost padded beside her through sterile hallways that smelled of antiseptic and despair. You can't bring a dog in here, a nurse said. He's a service animal, psychological support. You don't have documentation. Check my military ID, K9 handler. This dog is a retired combat veteran with more service than anyone in this building. The nurse looked at Ghost at Riley, at the determination in both their eyes. She stepped aside. Razor Vega was in his room, staring at the wall. He looked worse than before, thinner, paler, more hollow. Vega. He didn't turn. You came back. I need your help. I told you I can't. Prescott is dead. My father is dead. Stone is in custody. Harlow is arrested. Riley sat in the chair beside his bed. It's happening, Vega. Everything Marcus wanted. But I need you to finish it. Vega finally turned. His eyes were red-rimmed but alert. Your father is dead. Stone shot him last night. My father turned on him. In the end, he chose the truth. Admiral Callahan chose the truth. Vega laughed bitterly. That's the most unbelievable thing I've heard in years. I watched him die. I held him while he bled out. His last words were telling me where to find evidence. Vega was silent for a long moment. Then, why are you here? Because I need someone who was there. Someone who can testify about what happened to Marcus. Someone who can prove that this isn't just fabricated evidence from dead men. I'm in a psych ward. Nobody will believe me. Then get out of the psych ward. I can't just... Yes, you can. Sign yourself out AMA. Against medical advice. Walk out of here right now and help me bring down the people who murdered your commander. Ghost walked to Vega's bed, put his head in the man's lap. Vega's hand automatically moved to stroke the dog's ears. Marcus's dog, he said quietly. His name is Ghost. He saved my life last night. Took down Stone before Stone could kill me. Marcus always said Ghost was the best partner he ever had. Said the dog understood things humans couldn't. He does. And right now he's telling you that it's time to stop hiding. Vega looked at Ghost. The dog's amber eyes held steady. I was there when they took him, Vega said, his voice breaking. After the ambush, the Black Ops team, they loaded Marcus into a helicopter and I begged them to take me too. But Stone said I wasn't important enough. Tell that to a courtroom. They'll say I'm crazy. Are you? Some days. Vega's hand stilled on Ghost's head. But not about this. Never about this. I remember every detail, every face, every word. Then let's get out of here. Let's make sure the world remembers too. Vega stood slowly. For the first time since Riley had met him, something like hope flickered in his eyes. Where do we start? Congressional hearing. Tomorrow. I need you there. The drive back to Baltimore was tense. Vega sat in the back with Ghost occasionally murmuring words Riley couldn't hear. Old conversations with old ghosts. Shepard drove in silence until his phone buzzed. He answered, listened, and his expression darkened. What? Riley asked. That was my contact, the one inside the system. And Harlow made bail, $30 million. He's out. Riley's blood went cold. How is that possible? Powerful friends, judges who owe favors. The system protects its own. Where is he now? Unknown. He posted bail and disappeared. No tracking, no surveillance. He's running. Or planning. Shepard's jaw tightened. Men like Harlow don't run. They counterattack. Riley's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Who is this? Hello, Riley. Harlow's voice, calm, controlled, terrifying. How did you get this number? I have resources you can't imagine, as I'm sure Commander Stone mentioned before his unfortunate decision to cooperate. What do you want? To make you an offer. One time only. Walk away. Take your evidence, your witnesses, your righteous crusade, and disappear. I'll make sure you're never found. You can start a new life somewhere warm. Raise dogs. Forget any of this ever happened. And if I refuse, then everyone you've ever cared about will die. Starting with the old man driving the car, then the broken soldier in the back seat, then the journalist who thinks she's untouchable. Harlow paused. And then you, but not quickly. I'll make sure you have time to regret your choices. You can't touch us. You're exposed. The whole world knows what you've done. The whole world knows what they've been told. Stories can be rewritten. Evidence can be discredited. Witnesses can be silenced. His voice hardened. You're 20 years old, Riley. You have no idea how the world really works. Maybe not, but I know how to fight. My brother taught me that. Your brother is dead because he fought. Is that really the example you want to follow? Yes, it is. Silence on the line. Then I'll see you soon, Harlow said. Enjoy your last few hours of thinking you've won. The line went dead. Riley looked at Shepard. He's coming for us. I know. We need protection. Who do we trust? The military, the police, they're all compromised. Then we protect ourselves. Shepard nodded slowly. Old school. Like the old days. Like warriors. They fortified Mercer's office. Shepard called in favors, retired operators, journalists with security training, anyone willing to stand against Harlow's money and power. By nightfall, they had 12 people. Not an army, but enough. Congressional hearing is in 12 hours, Mercer said, reviewing her notes. I've been in contact with Senator Morrison's office. He's agreed to give us time to present our evidence. Morrison is clean. As clean as anyone in Washington. He's been trying to expose military contractor corruption for years. This is his white whale. And if Harlow gets to him first, we have backup senators, 3 of them, all hungry for headlines. Riley looked around the room at the faces of people who'd risked everything to be here. Strangers, mostly, but united by something larger than themselves. Thank you, she said, all of you, for believing. We believed your brother first, one of the operators said. Older guy, gray hair, steady eyes. Marcus reached out to us months before he died. Tried to build a network of people he could trust. We weren't fast enough to save him, but we can be fast enough to finish what he started. You knew Marcus. Served with him in Afghanistan. Best operator I ever worked with. When he told me what he'd found, I thought he was paranoid. Turned out he was just ahead of the curve. Riley felt Marcus's presence suddenly, powerfully. All these people connected by her brother's courage. A web of loyalty he'd woven in secret, waiting for the right moment to activate. He planned this, she whispered. Of course he did. The operator smiled. Marcus never went into battle without a plan, and he never planned to lose. At 300, Ghost's growl woke Riley from a fitful sleep on Mercer's couch. She was on her feet instantly. What is it, boy? Ghost was staring at the window, hackles raised, teeth bared. Shepard. He appeared in the doorway, weapon drawn. Movement outside. 3 vehicles. Harlow. Probably. Our perimeter cameras went dark 30 seconds ago. How many? At least a dozen. Professional, military formation. Riley grabbed her jacket, checked the gun Shepard had given her. We can't let them in. We can't stop them either, not with what we have. Then we need another plan. Mercer appeared, phone in hand. I've alerted our contacts. FBI is sending a team, 20 minutes out. We don't have 20 minutes. The lights went out. Emergency generators kicked in, bathing everything in red. They're cutting power, Shepard said. Standard assault protocol. Where's Vega? Safe room in the basement, with the evidence. And Ghost? The dog was already moving toward the front door. Not scared. Ready. He knows they're coming, Riley said. He knows what comes next. Shepard moved to a window. If they breach, we fall back to the safe room. Protect the evidence at all costs. And if we can't, then we make sure they don't leave here either. Glass shattered somewhere in the building. Alarms blared. They're in, Shepard said. Everyone to positions. The next few minutes were chaos. Gunfire, shouting, the sound of boots on polished floors. Riley moved through the darkness with Ghost at her side, the dog's senses guiding her where her eyes couldn't. They reached the stairwell to the basement just as an attacker appeared from a side corridor. Ghost hit him before the man could raise his weapon. Teeth claws, 85 pounds of fury. The attacker went down, screaming. Good boy, Riley breathed. Now move. They descended into the basement. Vega was there, clutching the evidence folders like they were holy relics. What's happening? Harlow's people. They breached the perimeter. How many? Too many. Gunfire echoed from above. Closer now. We need to get out, Vega said. There has to be another way. There isn't. This is a fortress. One way in, one way out. Then we're trapped. Riley looked at Ghost. The dog was calm. Focused. Waiting. We hold, she said, until the FBI arrives. And if they don't, then we go down fighting, like Marcus would have. They barricaded the safe room door. Shepard and 2 others held the stairwell, buying time with every bullet. Through the walls, Riley could hear the battle raging, men dying. The operation that her father had built being torn apart, one body at a time. This is my fault, she said quietly. All these people fighting and dying because of me. They're fighting because they believe in something, Vega said. That's not your fault. That's your gift. What do you mean? Marcus had it too. The ability to make people believe, to make them care about something bigger than themselves. Vega looked at the evidence in his hands. That's why he was dangerous, not because of what he knew, but because of what he inspired. A massive explosion shook the building. Dust rained from the ceiling. They're trying to collapse the structure, Shepard's voice crackled over the radio. We've got maybe 5 minutes before static. Shepard, No response. Riley grabbed the radio. "Anyone report?" Silence. Then a new voice. Harlow's voice. "Your friends are dead, Riley. Or will be soon. This building is coming down and you're going to be buried in it, just like your brother was buried in the desert. Then come down here and finish it yourself. I don't need to. Physics will do it for me." A pause. "But I want you to know this didn't have to happen. You could have walked away. You chose this. Marcus chose it first. I'm just following his lead. Marcus was a fool. Marcus was a hero, and so is everyone who died tonight fighting against you." Harlow laughed. "Heroes. Such an old-fashioned concept. There are no heroes, Riley. Only winners and losers. And you—" The connection cut off. Riley turned to Vega. "We need to get out of here." "How? The only exit is through them." Ghost was pawing at the wall, whining. "What is it, boy?" The dog scratched harder. Riley moved closer, examining the wall. "There's a draft, cold air." "Emergency exit?" Vega asked. "Or a maintenance tunnel?" Riley pulled at the wall panel. It gave way, revealing a narrow passage. This building used to be a warehouse. There must be old infrastructure. That tunnel could go anywhere. It goes somewhere that isn't here. That's enough. They crawled into the darkness. Ghost led the way, nose-working, guiding them through passages that hadn't been used in decades. Behind them, the building groaned. Metal screamed. The ceiling began to collapse. "Move!" Riley shouted. "Move!" They ran, crawled, clawed their way through the darkness. Dust and debris rained down. Ghost barked, urging them forward. And then light. Cold, gray morning light. They emerged into an alley, gasping, covered in dust. Behind them, Mercer's building folded in on itself like a house of cards. "No," Riley breathed. "No, no, no." Shepard, Mercer, everyone who'd stayed behind. Gone. Sirens wailed in the distance. FBI finally arriving. Too late. Always too late. Riley stood in the ruins of everything they'd built. Ghost pressed against her leg, offering what comfort he could. "The evidence," Vega said, holding up the folders. "We still have it. And no one to present it to. Morrison, the senator. The hearing is in 6 hours." Riley looked at him. At Ghost. At the destruction behind them. "Harlow thinks he's won," she said slowly. "Hasn't he? No." Riley's voice hardened. "He's just made me angrier." She started walking. Toward the sirens. Toward the cameras that were already gathering. Toward the story that was about to break worldwide. "Where are you going?" "To give them something to report." The press conference was improvised. Riley stood in front of the smoking ruins of Mercer's building, Ghost at her side, and told the world everything. "My name is Riley Callahan. My brother Marcus Callahan was a Navy SEAL who discovered a weapons trafficking operation run by Admiral Vincent Harlow. He was murdered for what he knew. Last night, Admiral Harlow sent armed men to destroy the evidence my brother gathered. They killed innocent people. They destroyed a building. They thought they could silence us." She held up the evidence folders. "They failed." Questions erupted from the press corps. Riley answered everyone. Names, dates, operations. Everything her father had documented, everything Marcus had gathered, everything Stone had confessed. By the time she finished, the world was watching. And Admiral Vincent Harlow was running. They found him 3 hours later trying to board a private jet at a small airfield in Delaware. FBI agents surrounded the plane. Harlow emerged with his hands up, face twisted with rage. "You think this is over?" he screamed at the cameras. You think any of this matters? The people I work for will destroy you. All of you. Riley watched from across the tarmac. Ghost sat beside her calm. It's over, she said quietly. But she knew it wasn't. Not really. There were others. The people Harlow worked for. The agencies that didn't exist. The fight wasn't over. But for today, this moment, this victory, it was enough. Shepard appeared beside her. Battered, bleeding, but alive. You survived. I'm hard to kill. He looked at Harlow being led away in handcuffs. You did it. You actually did it. We did it. All of us. What now? Riley looked at Ghost. The dog looked back, ready for whatever came next. Now we make sure this never happens again. We honor Marcus. We honor everyone who died. And the others? The ones above Harlow. Riley smiled grimly. We find them, one by one, however long it takes. She walked toward the FBI vehicles, Ghost padding beside her. The war wasn't over, but the first battle had been won. 2 years changed everything and nothing at all. Riley Callahan stood at Virginia Beach watching the sun rise over the Atlantic. Ghost sat beside her, gray around the muzzle, now slower than he used to be, but still alert. Still ready. 2 years, she said quietly. Can you believe it, boy? Ghost's tail wagged once. He remembered. Dogs always remember. The trials had taken 18 months. Harlow Stone and 47 others, military officers, contractors, government officials, all convicted. The operation her father had built was dismantled piece by piece, exposed to sunlight that burned away decades of corruption. Her father was buried with military honors. A controversial decision. Some called him a traitor. Others called him a man who found redemption in his final moments. Riley called him Dad, and that was enough. Marcus received the Navy Cross posthumously. Full military ceremony. 300 attendees. Generals and admirals speaking about courage and sacrifice. Riley had worn her dress uniform, accepted the medal on his behalf, and cried without shame. Now, standing on the beach where she and Marcus used to build sandcastles as children, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. You did it, big brother, she whispered. We did it. The Callahan Foundation headquarters occupied a converted warehouse in Norfolk. Riley had founded it 6 months after the trials ended, using the settlement money from her lawsuit against the contractors who'd tried to kill her. The mission was simple: investigate suspicious military deaths and advocate for military canine welfare. 2 causes Marcus would have championed himself. Ghost was the Foundation's mascot. His photograph hung in the lobby alongside Marcus's Navy Cross and a plaque that read, "Loyalty never dies." Riley walked through the front door at 0800, Ghost padding beside her. Staff greeted them both by name. Morning, boss. Morning, Ghost. Morning. Any developments? 3 new cases came in overnight. Afghanistan, Syria, and 1 from right here in Virginia. I'll review them after the meeting. The meeting was in the main conference room. A dozen people gathered around a table covered in files. Former operators, investigative journalists, voyeurs, and analysts. The team Marcus would have built if he'd lived. Shepard Kane sat at the head of the table. 67 years old now, officially retired, but he came in every day. Said it gave him purpose. Morning, everyone. Let's get started. Riley took her seat. Ghost lay at her feet. First order of business. The Henderson case in Afghanistan. What do we have? One of the analysts spoke up. Sergeant Michael Henderson killed in Kandahar 6 months ago. Official report says IED. but his widow received an anonymous letter suggesting his death was connected to a contract dispute between military suppliers. Evidence, circumstantial so far, but the pattern matches 3 other deaths in the same unit over the past year. Keep digging. Coordinate with our contacts at CID. They moved through the cases one by one, each one a family seeking answers, each one a potential conspiracy waiting to be exposed. This was the work now. Not glamorous, not always successful, but necessary. When the meeting ended, Shepard lingered. "You're different today," he said. "What do you mean, lighter? Like you finally set something down." Riley smiled. "It's the anniversary. 2 years since Marcus died. 2 years since everything changed. And how do you feel? Like I'm finally doing what I was meant to do?" Shepard nodded slowly. "Marcus would be proud." "I know. That's what keeps me going." The afternoon brought a visitor Riley wasn't expecting. "There's someone here to see you," her assistant said. "Young woman. Says she knew your brother." Riley looked up from her desk. Ghost's ears perked. "Send her in." The woman who entered was maybe 19. Dark hair, determined eyes, military bearing despite civilian clothes. "Ms. Callahan, I'm Sergeant Maya Torres. I served with your brother in Syria." Riley stood extended her hand. "I don't remember Marcus mentioning you." "I was new. Only worked with him for 3 weeks before—" Maya stopped composing herself. "Before he was killed." "Please sit." Maya sat, hands clasped tightly in her lap. Ghost walked over, sniffed her, then lay down at her feet. Approval. "What brings you here, Sergeant Torres?" "I need help. My brother, Corporal Diego Torres, was killed in Yemen 4 months ago. Official report says training accident, but I don't believe it." "Why not?" "Because Diego called me 2 days before he died. He was scared. Said he'd seen something he wasn't supposed to see. Said people were watching him." Riley felt a chill. The same pattern. The same story. How many times had she heard it now? What did he see? He wouldn't say over the phone, but he mentioned a name. Someone he thought was responsible. Maya leaned forward. He said the name Harlow. Riley's blood went cold. "Harlow is in prison." "I know, but Diego said there were others. People who worked with Harlow. People who are still operating. The network wasn't completely destroyed." "No, and my brother paid the price." Maya's voice cracked. "Ms. Callahan, I know who you are. I know what you did. I'm asking, begging for your help." Riley looked at Ghost. The dog's eyes were steady, ready. "Tell me everything you know." The investigation took 3 months. Maya Torres had been right. Harlow's network wasn't destroyed. It had fragmented, scattered, gone underground. Smaller operations, harder to trace, but still running. Riley and her team tracked the connections from Yemen to Somalia to the Philippines. Same pattern everywhere, weapons diverted soldiers who asked questions meeting convenient accidents. "It's like cutting off a hydra's head," Shepard said, reviewing the latest intelligence. 2 more grow back. "Then we keep cutting, until there's nothing left." The break came from an unexpected source. Stone, serving 25 years in federal prison, agreed to talk. Riley visited him on a gray Tuesday morning. Ghost stayed in the car. Dogs weren't allowed in federal facilities. Stone looked older. Prison had worn him down. The predator who'd killed her brother was now just a broken man in orange. "Why did you agree to see me?" "Because I'm dying." Stone's voice was flat. "Cancer. 6 months, maybe less?" "I'm not going to pretend I'm sorry. I wouldn't expect you to." He shifted in his seat. "But I have information. Names of people still operating. Locations, account numbers, things I kept as insurance that I never used." "Why give them to me now?" Because I was a soldier once, before all of this, and soldiers don't leave missions unfinished. Stone met her eyes. Your brother was the best operator I ever worked with. I respected him even as I was ordered to kill him. I owe him a debt I can never repay. Maybe this helps. It doesn't forgive what you did. Nothing will. I know that. Stone pushed a piece of paper across the table. But it might save some lives, and right now that's all I have left to give. Riley took the paper. Names, dates, locations, everything Stone had kept hidden for years. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm doing this for Marcus, not for you. Stone's eyes glistened. Tell his dog I'm sorry. Ghost always knew I was the enemy. Smartest creature in the whole operation. Riley stood. Goodbye, Commander Stone. Goodbye, Riley Callahan. You're the warrior your brother knew you could be. She walked out, without looking back. Stone died 3 months later. Riley didn't attend the funeral, but she used his information to dismantle what remained of the network. 6 more arrests, 4 more convictions, dozens of lives saved, and still the work continued. The call came on a quiet Sunday morning. Riley was at home, a small house on the Virginia coast, Ghost, sleeping on his bed by the window. Ms. Callahan, this is Senator Morrison's office. Riley sat up. Senator Morrison, he'd like to meet with you. Today, if possible. There's something he needs to discuss. What is it about? He'll explain in person. Can you come to Washington? Burn. Senator Morrison's office was everything Riley expected: wood, paneling, American flags, photographs with presidents. The senator himself was 70 years old, silver-haired, with the kind of gravitas that came from decades of public service. Ms. Callahan, thank you for coming. You said it was urgent. It is. Morrison gestured to a chair. Please sit. Riley sat. Ghost settled beside her, watching the senator with intelligent eyes. I've been following your work. The Callahan Foundation. Very impressive. Thank you. What I'm about to tell you is classified, but given what you've accomplished, I believe you've earned the right to know. Morrison leaned forward. The President has authorized a new task force, Joint Military-Civilian. Its mission is to investigate and prosecute corruption within the defense establishment. That's been tried before. Not like this. This task force will have independent authority, direct reporting to congressional oversight, and... Morrison paused, resources that previous efforts never had. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to lead it. Riley stared at him. I'm 22 years old. You're also the person who brought down a network that had operated for 20 years. You have credibility, determination, and forgive me, a dog that seems to know things humans don't. Ghost's tail wagged once. I'm not a politician. Good. Politicians are the problem. I need a warrior. Riley thought about Marcus, about her father, about everyone who'd died so the truth could come out. Why me? Because you asked the right question once, and you didn't stop until you found the answer. Morrison's voice softened. Commander Stone taunted you. Who's going to save you? And your answer saved not just yourself, but thousands of people who would have been victims if the network had continued. Riley looked at Ghost. The dog looked back, steady and sure. What would the job entail? Investigations, prosecutions, building a team of people you trust, the authority to go wherever the evidence leads, regardless of who it implicates. Even if it leads to people in this building. Especially then. Riley thought about the years ahead, the fights she hadn't yet fought, the families she hadn't yet helped. I have conditions. Name them. Ghost stays with me, always. Agreed. Shepard Kane is my second in command. Done. And I get to name the task force. Morrison raised an eyebrow. What name did you have in mind? Riley smiled for the first time since walking in. The Marcus Callahan Integrity Initiative. The announcement made national news. A 22-year-old woman leading a federal task force with a retired SEAL and a combat dog by her side. Critics called it a publicity stunt. Supporters called it justice. Riley called it duty. The first day in her new office, she hung Marcus's photograph on the wall. Beside it, she placed the letter from her father, the one he'd left in his safe. "We did it," she whispered to both of them. "We really did it." Ghost sat beside her head, resting on her knee. 3 years later, the initiative had completed over 200 investigations, 60 convictions, reforms that changed how the military handled whistleblowers. Riley stood at a podium in Washington receiving the Presidential Medal of Freedom. "This honor doesn't belong to me," she said to the crowd. "It belongs to my brother Marcus Callahan, who gave his life for the truth. It belongs to my father, Thomas Callahan, who found redemption in his final moments. It belongs to every soldier who ever asked questions that powerful people didn't want answered. And it belongs to Ghost." She looked down at the dog beside her. Gray now moving slowly but still there, still loyal. "Someone once asked me, 'Who's going to save you?' They thought I was alone, helpless, a 20-year-old nobody who couldn't possibly fight back." She smiled. "But I was never alone. I had Ghost. I had the memory of my brother. I had the courage of everyone who refused to stay silent. And I had the truth." Riley looked out at the audience, Shepard in the front row, Maya Torres beside him, and dozens of others who'd joined the fight over the years. The answer to that question isn't a person. It isn't a title, or a rank, or a weapon. The answer is loyalty. The answer is courage. The answer is choosing to stand when everyone tells you to kneel. She reached down, stroked Ghost's ears one final time. They asked who would save me. Ghost answered, and together we saved each other. That night, Riley walked on Virginia Beach with Ghost. Same beach where she'd run every morning for years. Same sand where Marcus's memorial stood. The inscription had changed. New words, new truth. Chief Petty Officer Marcus Callahan, 1992-2023. Murdered while exposing corruption. Hero, patriot, brother. His legacy lives through those who never quit. Riley knelt, touched the cold stone. "I kept my promise, Marcus. I took care of Ghost, and he took care of me." The old dog pressed against her side, warmth against the cold. "Rest now, big brother. The fight goes on, but the hardest part is over." She stood, looked out at the ocean, the same waves that had rolled for thousands of years, the same stars that had guided warriors since the beginning of time. Marcus's voice echoed in her memory. "Never quit. Never surrender. Never stop fighting for what's right." She hadn't quit. She hadn't surrendered. And she never would. Ghost looked up at her amber eyes, still bright despite his age. "Come on, boy. Let's go home." They walked together down the beach, two warriors at the end of a long campaign. The moon rose over the Atlantic. The waves whispered stories of those who'd come before. And somewhere in the stars, Riley knew Marcus was watching. Proud, like always. Forever proud. The question they'd asked had been meant to break her. "Who's going to save you?" But questions only have power when you don't know the answer. Riley Callahan knew her answer now. She'd learned it in blood and fire and loss. She'd proven it in courtrooms and battlefields and quiet moments of grief. The ones who save you are the ones who love you, the ones who stay when everyone else runs, the ones who answer when you call. Ghost had answered. Marcus had answered. And Riley, the 20-year-old nobody who became a warrior, had answered too. That was the truth that corruption could never destroy. That was the legacy that death could never erase. That was the answer that would echo through generations. Love answers. Loyalty answers. Courage answers. Always.